Hey Truth Seekers, it's Phineas from New Energy 21. I hope you're doing well today. Okay, what I want to talk to you today about is actually how much of an idiot I am. Sometimes I do things that just aren't very good for me. And I think it's a side of my personality, which is kind of a bit like a maverick. I'm kind of not a perfectionist. In a lot of ways, I just can't be bothered sometimes. I think we all like this. I should give myself a break. I think we're all like this. I think it's because I teach nutritional balancing. That is a very much perfectionist program, which I don't like about it. So I think I rebel actually and go the other way. And I know my clients do that. And I don't blame them. I don't like perfection. Perfection sucks. In fact, perfection is the work of the devil. If you're a perfectionist, you need to look at it, because perfectionism is often related to a trauma inside. It's like not being good enough. So if you are a perfectionist, and believe me, I have been one, and in a lot of ways before, but with health and that sort of thing, I'm not anymore. I've been doing nutritional healing for 10 years. I'm not going to be that person that says, "Oh yeah, I get it right all the time," because I don't. I fall off the wagon quite a lot. But I'm going to tell you something specifically how I was an idiot with things in a row, which actually led to me being ill. And I would not recommend this, actually. Because I've just had a cold. It wasn't a very bad cold, but I've just had a cold. It's that time of year. And my kids basically get ill this time of year. They've gone back to school. The temperature is changing, and everyone's immunity is lower, so those viruses are around. So I've just got over a cold. Again, it wasn't very bad, but there were things that I did to make myself ill. And there were 6 things that I did in a row that actually led to an illness. And I'm going to tell you what those things are, because they do weaken you. I think on their own, they're kind of okay now and again, but in a row, not advisable. So, bear with me, because I do need to look at my little list, and I hate looking at notes, and so I know it's irritating, but I just do need to look down at the order I did it in, of how much an idiot I was. So, the first thing I did was I went to my lovely mother-in-law's, whose name is Ingrid, and she's German, and she loves cakes. And every time we go there, she's baked a banana cake, and she always has a go at me for not kind of eating sugar. Go figure that one. But I think she wants me to be in balance, bless her. So I think that's why she does that. So we had I think it was a banana cake or like a chocolate cake for someone's birthday. And so I had a sizable piece of chocolate cake, which was very nice. And then about half an hour later, I had a very large coffee, right? I was having one of those days where I just thought, okay, I'm just going to do it. So I had the cake. Now, sugar is a stimulant. And so when you eat sugar, especially processed sugar like that, or refined sugar, your body's going to go into overdrive. And it's like, stimulation. The adrenals get stimulated trying to process it. The body's attention goes off what it should be doing, and then its focus is processing the sugar, right? So if there is a little bug hanging around, then the immunity is disabled temporarily, and the body just tries to deal with the sugar. Now, if you lump on a coffee an hour later, then the same thing happens. The body goes into stimulation, the adrenal glands start buzzing, thyroid starts buzzing, the attention is taken off what it should be doing, and is dealing with that processing the caffeine. So I did those 2 things in a row, and I was like, I remember that day talking about Brexit around a coffee table. Oh God, dreadful conversation. Everyone gets so emotional, and I got emotional. I think it's because I was like under the influence of sugar and coffee, and I was a bit more animated than usual. So those 2 things together I did. The third thing I wasn't really aware, I forgot, was that I'd woken up early in the morning for a couple of days, and I felt a bit tired, so I hadn't slept properly, so I was weaker anyway. And if you don't sleep properly, the adrenals are stimulated anyway, so you should really try and rest more. those three things. Now, on the way back from my mother-in-law's house, I decided to stop at the tennis court with my wife. And we always carried tennis gear in the car, and we have gear with us, and so we're a member of a club, and so we kind of jumped out, did an hour of tennis. And so heart got pumping again, even though exercise is good for you, it's kind of a little bit draining as well if you're tired and you've just had loads of cake and coffee. So I then went home, and then I had a bit of fun with my wife. Do you know what I mean? I kind of lost my fluid a little bit. So your zinc drops. As a man or a woman, if you lose sexual fluid, you kind of, it's draining. It's draining. Not a lot of people know that. For men, they lose zinc. And there's a lot of zinc deficient men in our society at the moment, simply because of the creation of the internet. But yeah, so I did that, and I'm aware that the Taoist monks, the Taoists and Taoist monks, they try and keep hold of their sexual fluid to activate spiritual energy. So I know it's a bit draining, and I know you shouldn't lose it a lot, but I did it. And the last thing I did was that night, Phoebe, my little baby girl, had a bit of a runny nose, and she didn't eat her food properly, and so I finished her food, like I kind of have done with my children ever since they were born, because I'm quite greedy. So I finished her food, and she had a bit of a cold. So all those things together, the sugar, the coffee, the sleep, the sport, the sex, followed by sharing someone's food that was ill anyway, within 5 to 6 hours, boom, runny nose, eyes watering, cough started coming on, sore throat, kabang, damn. So guys, those things are just a guideline to, if you're doing those things all the time, your vitality and your immunity is going to be low, and you are open not just to acute illnesses but chronic illnesses. So lots of coffee, lots of sugar, too much sex, over-exercising, not sleeping enough, and also hanging out with people that are ill. You can't help that with your children, but it's, if someone's got a virus, I tend to stay away from them. Or protect yourself, take extra vitamin C, rest more, because you want to stay strong and healthy. So those are the things, guys. There are many other things as well. Obviously, chronic stress. I think the Brexit conversation could be classed as stress actually in that list of things. But chronic stress can make you chronically ill. So that I've given you advice on kind of acute illnesses, but also look at those things, because chronic illness like ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, adrenal exhaustion, the other 1,000 points I could list about symptoms you can get from all those things, headaches, lack of sleep, that sort of thing. So guys, keep strong, take my advice, and I hope it helps. Okay, if you like the video, hit like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I've got, as always, lots of videos coming out about different stuff. And so, sending you lots of love today. Hope you have a good week, and I will speak to you soon.